I work the front desk at a mid-range hotel in Munich. Last summer, an American couple checked in and immediately asked where they could exchange their dollars. I pointed to the ATM in our lobby. The husband shook his head. "No, we need actual euros. Where's the currency exchange?" I explained the ATM dispenses euros. He looked at me like I'd suggested alchemy. "ATMs give dollars. We're in Europe." His wife nodded vigorously. I tried again. "European ATMs give euros." He insisted this was impossible because ATMs are programmed in America. I finally walked them to the machine and showed them the euro symbol on screen. He stared at it for a full minute, then accused me of rigging the display. They went to 3 other banks that day, convinced every ATM in Munich was broken. They paid cash for everything the entire week using crumpled bills they'd exchanged at the airport at terrible rates. This isn't just travel chaos, it's cultural anthropology in real time. I collect these stories because they reveal how power, confidence, and misunderstanding collide. If you want the kind of global insight that most people never even notice, subscribe. It's how you stay 3 steps ahead of the surface-level stuff. A tourist once asked me if Germans celebrate the 4th of July. When I said no, she seemed genuinely confused. "But you have freedom now, right?" I nodded. She pressed on, "So when do you celebrate getting it?" I explained Germany's history was different. She waved this off. "Every country celebrates freedom on July 4th. That's when the world got independence." I didn't know where to begin. Another American asked if we still used the Berlin Wall for anything practical, like a highway divider. Germany teaches you patience in ways you never imagined. I'm a waiter at a traditional Bavarian restaurant in Rothenburg. An American family of 4 sat down and studied our menu intensely. The father finally called me over with a snap of his fingers. "We'll take 4 schnitzels, but make them with chicken. Real chicken, not European chicken." I blinked. I asked what European chicken was. He leaned in conspiratorially. "You know, smaller, gamier. We want American-sized portions with actual chicken breast." I explained our schnitzel was already pork, traditionally. He interrupted. "Exactly. That's the problem. In America, schnitzel is chicken. You guys do it wrong." His teenage son agreed enthusiastically. I offered our chicken schnitzel option. The father studied it suspiciously. "How do I know it's real chicken?" I suggested he trust our kitchen. He demanded to see the raw chicken first. My manager brought out a chicken breast. The man examined it like a detective, then complained it looked too pink. He insisted on well done, like normal people eat it. When the meals arrived, dry as cardboard per his request, he complained they were overcooked and demanded a refund. He left a note on the receipt. "Learn to cook from Americans." I work at a pharmacy in Frankfurt. An American woman rushed in, clutching her arm dramatically. "I need Tylenol. Extra strength, the real kind." I showed her our paracetamol section. Same active ingredient as Tylenol. She recoiled. "That's not Tylenol. I need the American brand." I explained it was identical medication, just European packaging. She refused to believe me. "Tylenol is FDA approved. This is German." I noted the FDA only regulates American products. She cut me off. "Exactly. So this isn't safe." She demanded I call the American embassy to verify our medications were legal. It's funny, but it's also a mirror. I break down these moments, not to mock, but to understand what happens when one worldview assumes it's the default setting for everyone else. If that kind of deep cultural decoding is your speed, you already know what to do. When I declined, she asked if I could order real medicine from Amazon America. I suggested she visit a doctor if pain was severe. She gasped. "Doctors here don't speak English." I replied that many do. She lowered her voice. "But do they have actual medical degrees? Or European ones?" I stared at her. She eventually bought nothing and left, muttering about socialized medicine killing people. She returned an hour later and bought the paracetamol without comment. I manage a rental car office in Heidelberg. An American man approached my counter insisting he'd reserved an automatic in English. I clarified. Did he mean an automatic transmission? He said no, a car with English dashboard controls. I explained our cars display in German but are intuitive. He disagreed. I can't drive if I can't read the buttons. What if I need to turn on the wipers? I showed him the universal wiper symbol. He squinted at it. That could mean anything. I walked him through each control: lights, signals, temperature. He grudgingly accepted until he saw the speedometer. This is in kilometers. I need miles. I mentioned the conversion. He shook his head firmly. I don't do math on vacation. Can you reprogram it? I explained that wasn't possible. He demanded a different car, made for Americans. When I said we only had European models, he asked if he could drive using his phone's GPS exclusively and ignore the dashboard completely. I warned this was unsafe and illegal. He accused me of discriminating against tourists. He eventually took the car but returned it 2 hours later, claiming it was designed wrong because the driver's seat was on the left. I informed him that Germany drives on the right, so driver's seats are on the left. He looked stunned. But you're in Europe. I confirmed this. He said, Europe drives on the left, like England. I noted England was one country. He insisted all of Europe followed England's lead. He demanded a refund. I'm a ticket agent for Deutsche Bahn at Berlin Hauptbahnhof. An American couple approached, confused about our ticket machines. The wife asked if we had normal tickets, like paper ones you can hold. I gestured to the machine's printed ticket option. She frowned. But it's in German. I switched the screen to English for her. She poked at it suspiciously, then asked, Does this charge American credit cards? I confirmed it accepts international cards. Her husband interrupted. But will it charge us in dollars or euros? I explained they'd be charged in euros, converted by their bank. He balked. That's a scam. We should pay in dollars since we're American. I noted they were purchasing German train tickets in Germany. He argued this was technically international commerce, so dollar pricing should apply. His wife agreed, adding that the exchange rate seems illegal. I assured them it was standard. They refused to use the machine, certain it would overcharge them. They insisted on buying tickets from me directly, in cash, using dollars. I explained I could only accept euros. The husband pulled out a $50 bill and waved it. This is worth more than euros. Just take it, I declined. He threatened to report me for refusing legal currency. They eventually used the machine, but complained loudly the entire time that Europe was designed to confuse Americans on purpose. I work at a museum in Cologne. An American tourist stopped me, pointing at our restroom signs. Why does the bathroom cost money? I explained the 50-cent fee maintains cleanliness. She looked appalled. Bathrooms are free in America. This is a human rights violation. I suggested she consider it a small service charge. She refused. I already paid admission to the museum. The bathroom should be included. I noted the restroom was outside our ticketed area, accessible to everyone. She called this double dipping. She demanded to speak with management about illegal bathroom charges. My supervisor explained the system patiently. The woman argued that, in civilized countries, bathrooms are free. My supervisor noted Germany was quite civilized. The tourist snapped, "Then why are you charging for basic services?" She announced she'd hold it until she found a free bathroom, which she insisted must exist because of European Union laws. She asked 3 more staff members about illegal toilet fees before finally paying. She emerged 5 minutes later and complained. The bathroom wasn't even that. Clean for 50 cents. She wrote a detailed Google review about our bathroom scam and warned Americans to bring extra cash for basic human functions. The review mentioned she'd contacted her congressman. I'm a tour guide in Nuremberg. During a walking tour, an American man interrupted my explanation of medieval architecture. Question: Do you guys still use castles? I clarified what he meant. He pointed at the Imperial Castle. Like, do people live there, or is it just for tourists? I explained it's a historical site and museum now. He nodded slowly. But back in the day, this was a real castle, right? Not a replica? I confirmed it was built in the 11th century. He seemed skeptical. It looks too good. Are you sure it's not a reconstruction? I explained parts were restored after World War II, but the core structure was authentic. He turned to his wife. See? I told you Europeans fake their history. She agreed. I corrected him. We preserve history. He laughed. Preserve? You rebuilt it. That's called faking. I attempted to explain restoration versus reconstruction. He cut me off. In America, if something's destroyed, we leave it destroyed. That's honest. I mentioned many American historical sites were also restored. He disagreed. Name one. I cited Colonial Williamsburg. He waved dismissively. That's different. That's educational. I asked how this castle wasn't educational. He said, because you're pretending it's real. Another tourist defended me. The American man argued with him for 5 minutes about European historical honesty. He left the tour early, leaving a 1-star review claiming I was spreading misinformation about fake castles. I'm a server at a beer garden in Stuttgart. An American man ordered a beer, drank half, then flagged me down urgently. This tastes weird. Is it local beer? I confirmed it was a local Pilsner. He grimaced. That explains it. Can I get an American beer? Like Budweiser? I apologized. We only served German beers. He looked personally offended. You're a beer garden in Germany, and you don't have American beer? That's bad business. I mentioned Germany was famous for beer. He dismissed this. German beer is an acquired taste. Most people prefer American. I offered our lighter lagers. He refused. I want real beer, the kind normal people drink. I suggested he try another local option. He sighed dramatically and agreed to a Helles. When it arrived, he took one sip and pushed it away. Too heavy. This is why German beer never caught on in America. I noted that German immigrants largely created American beer culture. He laughed. Sure, maybe 100 years ago, but we perfected it. Germans make beer too strong. I explained this beer was lighter than Budweiser. He accused me of lying. I've been drinking beer for 20 years. I know beer. His friend tried it and said it was fine. The man insisted his friend had no taste. He asked if we had Coors Light. When I said no, he complained to 3 other servers, hoping for different answers. He eventually drank water and left no tip. His parting words, Germany needs to modernize its beer. Working in Germany's tourism industry taught me something valuable about perspective. Most visitors are wonderful and curious, but every server, guide, and clerk has stories about the handful who arrive expecting the world to work exactly like home, and view any difference as a mistake needing correction. If you've worked tourism anywhere in Europe, you know these stories. Drop your best in the comments. And if you're planning to travel, remember, different isn't wrong. It's just different. Usually, there's a good reason. I unpack new stories like these every week. Not just the funny ones, but the ones that explain why cultures collide the way they do. Subscribing doesn't help me. It helps you see the world without the blind spots most people travel with.